video editor is going to think I'm an idiot. Look, the mouse, it won't let me.
Does that have to point toward the TV? Or this power source?
Well,
I don't know,
it's
just-
really touchy.
Yeah.
Everything is. There we go. Hello and welcome to Library Instruction for Business 201. I'm Jeff Prater. I'm the Director of Library Services. And to my right is...
I'm Karen Weiss. I'm the librarian.
And I'm Lena Starr. I'm the Academic Coordinator for the School of Business.
Okay, so we're going to go back and forth between the video and demonstrate how to do a library research for business. If we get out of the video screen. All right, so we're gonna go lower. We're having cursor problems here this morning. Okay, so this is the library webpage. You can also find a link to this at the bottom of the VIU webpage, where it will say library and it will link to this page. And before we start putting terms in the box and searching and teaching you how to do that, we'll give you a quick tour of how to use the library and the library website. So first of all, I have to get to the top of the screen. Do we have... I didn't expect to have this many technical difficulties. Like, why can't this minimize?
I wonder if the batteries are...
Did you hit the pin button?
Well, the pin button, I think, pins it to the top, right? Boy, so much editing to do. So now it disappears. All right, so moving on. To give you an idea, if you look across the top, we have, if you go to the drop downs, we have the library policies, the frequently asked questions, how to support the library if you have some extra money laying around and want to donate, or if you want to suggest some titles for purchase, you can do that as well. The biggest help for you will be research help, which has copyright information, how to read a call number, request books and magazine titles through interlibrary loan. You'll want to review the policy as VIU pays a certain amount of money. And there's off-campus login directions. You can also renew your books, and there's a number of research guides which we'll go through. Course reserves deals with our reserve section, which is the textbooks that the library has and that you can borrow for 4 hours. And lastly, how to reserve a study room. If you want to use one of our 2 study rooms that now have whiteboards, you can do that simply by, you can make a request to reserve one, and if there's not a conflict, we can write the reserve for you. On the bottom of the page, you can see the library hours, and to log in. So how do we log in from off campus? So the question is, you can go, what I recommend to do is to go ahead and begin your search. So go ahead and enter your search term and hit search, and when you're off campus, it looks at the IP, and if it doesn't recognize the IP, it will give you this login screen. And from this login screen, then you enter your student portal username and password, and then it will log you in. If you go to this page first to kind of Instead, it goes to a different page and it doesn't take you back to where you were in your search. So I usually recommend first logging in. And the next thing is there's going to be 3 times when you need to log in. One is for off-campus access. The second is if you wish to download an ebook, which we'll talk about, or print an ebook, or parts of an ebook, you'll need to log in, and also the library catalog to put holds on your account, and also you can renew books online as well. All right. So the lesson is going to follow the handout that we have provided you, and right now we're going to talk about finding a search term. Now, when you put a term in here, it's going to look up millions and millions of different things. And here's an example topic. If you were doing project management in India in the current political climate, and if you just cut and paste this sentence and dropped it in there, it's going to look for every instance of each word. So every article that has an involved, it's going to look for all the thes, all the current. So we have to teach and learn how to do a search properly, so that way we can get the most precise searches that we want instead of getting millions and millions of unsearchable things. Okay, and to do that, we're going to use some operators. Let's preview the operators. So the operators are going to be and, or, not. We're also going to show you how to use quotation marks and okay, so we'll show you how to use this character,
The asterisk.
the asterisk in what's called the wildcard when you look for something with the same name. So to do that, we've already have a video prepared. I'm going to go ahead and show that. Okay, so that's an overview of some of the operators, and I'm going to show you how to use the
Quotations.
quotation marks and the wildcard with the example. So, for instance, we've just talked about university. If you wanted to look up if you wanted to find every instance of universities or universities, either singular or plural, and you wanted to do that in one search, if you add the asterisk, it will search. We're using the root of the word, and what we're telling the search engine is to find the root of the word in every instance of the word, anything that comes after it. So it will search and find university with a Y. It will search universities with an IES if we use the asterisk, which is called the wildcard operator. The other one, the quotation marks, I'll show you in this topic below. So this topic, project management in India in the current political climate, you're going to have to do not just one, but maybe 2 or 3 different searches. Just entering that phrase in is just going to bring you millions and millions of useless results. And there's a couple tricks here on how we can make that a little easier. So we use the quotation marks when we want to tell the search engine to find 2 words next to each other. So when I'm looking for project management, I don't want articles on Project Runaway. I want articles on project management. So we don't want it to find every instance of project. So we put the quotation marks next to each other. And then India would be another word that we would stand out. And then later we'll do the political climate. So in our first search, I'm just going to go ahead and we'll use this term. So we use the quotation marks, and I'm using the operator and. And this default box, this search everything box, is going to search all of our databases at once. So we have 10 databases that we subscribe to, and then so it's going to search them all at once and give us the results. All right, so we got 91,000 results. Now remember, the original question was in the current political climate. So before we jump in and start saying, hey, is this a good article or not a good article, there's some ways that we can limit that. Since we're looking for articles that are current, this goes back to 1973. If your professor has not given you a timeline, you might want to check in, but current, I would think, would be probably in the last 5 years. So you can limit this by date. So you can put the date in here, or you can use the nice little slide bar. When we do that, we're getting rid of all those articles from when I was born. And here we got 43,000 articles, so we've almost divided it a little more than half, actually. And then what are you looking for? Do you know your assignment? Are you looking for ebooks and academic journals? You're probably not looking for magazines. I'm going to open this up again. So looking on the left-hand side here, you can hit Show More under Source Types. If your professor has emphasized academic journals or conference materials or patents, those are all things that you can look up, okay? So I'm going to leave ebooks and academic journals for now, maybe some patent work. There's only 3 dissertations. So now we've reduced that to 5,000 articles. If that's still a lot of articles to look through, so that another thing I would recommend is you can go into project management. And you're looking for project management, it depends on what area. Are you looking for leadership, information technology, risk management? So we can select a few here. Social responsibility, business probably be relevant. India, yes. So again, I'm going to update it. And now we're down to 468. Okay, so let's look at the search results. And you can see here in the beginning is something from one of our databases called Credo Reference. So if there's a general article, encyclopedia type article, that will come in Credo. That will come from Credo Reference. It gives you an overview.
It'll always be tailored to the topic you're searching.
Mm-hmm. And then you can see here, as we start to go through, here's academic journals. There's ebooks. So those are the two limiters, and we also did patents, I believe. So those might come up as well. So I'm going to open up the ebook and show you that and how to use the ebook. Okay, you can see here is the cover of the ebook. On the left-hand side, we have the table of contents. So you're not just getting a PDF here that's just copied, the book you copied. So if you wanted to jump ahead in the book, you can. Okay, so here's, find some information. You have a number of options on the top, which we'll talk about. But the first thing I'd recommend, when I talked about one of the other logins, there's one called an EBSCO account, and then you enter in this one. We don't predetermine your login. You create your own account, so you would hit create account and use whatever login you wish to use, and that will stay the same. All right, once you're logged in, you can do a number of things. First of all, now you have the download. So you could download the title and you'll have the book for 30 days. It gives you a number of options. I'm going to go back. Well, we can do it this way. If you wish to add it to your folder and read it later, you can do that. And that'll be up in your folder. If you wish to print the book, it'll usually give you a page number. And with an ebook, you're only allowed to print 10% of the book. That's due to laws that keep people from just printing off the entire book. And if you wish to keep you can set this when you print it to be in a citation format that you want. And at VIU we use APA, so you can do that if you wish to print things. Another thing that you can email the book to yourself. You can save it. And the other nice feature is something here called Cite. When you pull up the Cite feature, it has the 7 most used styles, and then you can copy this and put this on your reference page. Just a warning, double check that this is machine operated, so just double check that it's done right with your style guides. And also you'll have to remember, if it goes more than one line, you have to indent the second line with APA. So for instance, you see, just going down to Chicago, Chicago does the same thing. It indents the second and third lines afterwards, after the first line. Okay, so that's how to do a citation. Let's go back to the book. All right, so if you wish to print pages, it'll tell you the number of pages available. So 10% of the book is 100. It doesn't have to be in a certain range. It could be 100, any 100 pages that you wish to print. And I'm trying to think of anything else. I've left anything else.
I think that's it.
Okay. All right. So that's as far as using an ebook. I want to go back to the result list, because one of the things that your teachers might say to you, maybe not in this class, maybe they'll say it in another class, is they want you to use something called a peer-reviewed journal. And what is a peer-reviewed journal? It's a journal that's reviewed by a selection committee. It can have one article, it can have one author, it can have many authors, but they're used a lot in business and in research and upper ed, because the standard, you're getting you're getting a higher standard of an opinion going through a board, and you also, if there's multiple authors, are getting multiple opinions on a topic.
It's basically if you are a researcher doing high quality research, you're being evaluated by basically a jury of your peers to determine if the article that you have written is suitable for publishing.
Now, if you wish to limit the search only to scholarly peer reviewed, you can do that on the left-hand side. And now we have 311 peer-reviewed articles, and you notice the ebooks have left. There might be one that sneaks in, but this is only articles. Okay, so I'm gonna take off that limiter just for a minute. Now, let's say you did a search and you didn't like what you weren't finding what you wanted. You can go to something called advanced search, and it's already entered our term in from our original search. And I'm going to put in management. And you can see as I type in management, there's a certain number of controlled vocabulary terms. And you can see, you can select those if you'd like. And you can see we're back at the big number, but there are 91,000 articles, and it took us all the way back to 1973. So we'll repeat that. So again, you can refine your search by the year, by the source type, by the publication. You might want to remember that for the test at the end. Okay. And the last thing
And
for me.
politics.
Hmm?
Politics, because that's the other thing about political climate.
Yeah, we can do. Oh, let's look for a library book. All right, so we had limited this. I'm going to add books. Let's show them what a library book looks like. We have a few. I know we have. We don't have. We have books on project management. All right, so when you're looking for a library book, or if you're curious about how this works, is how it appears in the catalog. It looks like this. It'll say location VIU. It'll have a call number. That's where it's located on the shelf, and they will tell you whether it's available or not. And what you can do is say retrieve catalog item. It shows you this is a reserved book. Normally you can't take this out, but for this example, I'm going to go ahead and place a hold on it. So you'll log in. No, that's not. And when you do that, do you know your login?
It's a badge number.
Yes. But when you do log in and you're successful, I have the instructions for you. If you're a student, you'll use your student ID as the password. Oh, no wonder. We'll try it one more time. So this feature is really good. Okay, so it tells you that this can't be placed on hold, but because it's a this is a regular book. I'm going to place that on hold. Is that another reserve item? It says main. So there you go. So if you're at home and you've searched the catalog and you want to reserve the book, the moment you put this in at confirm a hold, if one of your classmates shows up and puts that says that they want to borrow that book in the morning, we're going to tell that student that that book's on hold for the next week, and you have a week to get into the library and check that out. Okay. Also, let's find the accounts information. If you want to renew the book, you can renew the selected book. Since it's on hold, it's not out yet. But okay, so if we want to renew, I would check this and then renew selected, and that's if you want to borrow the book for another month. All right. And I'm going to turn it over to Miss Weiss, who's going to show you some databases that deal with business. Oh, and while we're in transition, the last thing is, if you do find articles or books that we don't have in the library and that you want, and you want to borrow them from another library, we do have interlibrary loan, and you can either come to the library and we'll set that up for you. You use the library web. You can use this under research help. There's a link on how to get into interlibrary loan.
All right. So we've talked a bit about the search everything box. There may be a time maybe where you only want to look at a business database, and in that case you would choose the A to Z tab that is on the main page. And as you see on the screen right now, this is the next page that you'll see, which lists all of the library databases from A to Z. So in particular, I'm going to talk about Business Source Elite because that is a business-specific database. And you'll see that the interface looks very similar to what you just saw before because it's an EBSCO product. And so all their search boxes, they kind of have that same look across each database. So let's see. Well, let's look specifically for project management here too. Oh, it's not doing it?
No.
Oh dear. Sorry, people, we're having mouse problems again. Wow. Okay. There we go.
Does it work better from here?
Maybe it does.
Okay, we're going to switch places. We didn't expect these kind of...
Well, let's just see if as long as the mouse is over here, I can reach over. There we go.
There we go.
Woohoo, okay. We're going to just do project management. Okay, actually, I'm not going to search this. I forgot. I'm not going to specifically search this database because we've already kind of done it. I'm going to tell you about two features in this database. You can definitely search for business articles, project management, entrepreneurship, anything that is business related. But in particular, I want to tell you about Harvard Business Review and MarketLine reports. So Harvard Business Review is one of the kind of classic business publications. And so if you want to just look only for that, you would go to the top of the screen here and choose publications. And then in this search box here, you would type in Harvard Business Review because you're looking for a specific title. Okay. And as you see here, we've got it all the way back from 1922 to the present. I'm going to click on the title link. And now what this lets me do is I can look here on the right-hand side and go into different months. Okay, let's see what's happening here. All right, so maybe if I know for certain that I want to look and see what's been happening in October of 2017, I see that there's 34 articles. Now, something else I can do is I can search within this publication. I don't have to look for a particular month or year. I can click on search within this publication. And let's see what they've got about project management. So okay, 97. And in this case, it still goes back to 1923. So then I would follow the same procedures as before, where I could limit the publication date. Let me say the last 5 years. And I get 5. And then they're all full text. And so again, much like ebooks, you can look through these articles, you can email them, you can print them. This also has a citation. Oh, let's export. There it is. Okay, this little folder says cite. So again, it still gives you the citations in the different styles, which you can copy and paste. And again, as you were cautioned before, make sure that they're cited properly. Okay, so the next item that I'm going to show you is MarketLine reports. And to access those, you will go to the top of the page here where it says Company Profiles. And this gives you, this is not a full comprehensive list. Most of these companies are major US companies. So of course I'm just going to type in Amazon because that's one that everybody knows. Oh, it's right here. And you can click on the PDF. And again, you can download it, save it. And this goes into some information, key facts about the company, key employees, major products, top competitors. Some of these reports sometimes have SWOT analyses. I don't believe every report has one, but quite a few of them do. If they do have it, it would be detailed in the table of contents. So it just gives you some nice background information about the company. Now for additional business information, I would recommend using another of the databases that we have. And again, I'm going back, let's see, from the main page to the A to Z list. So in addition to Business Source Elite, I would also recommend using IBISWorld. Now IBISWorld really goes into detailed information about industries and businesses. And as you can see in your handout, I mean, you can search by the NAICS code, you can get specialized industry reports, and you can get iExpert summaries. Now, if you do know the name of the company, you can search, maybe Facebook, Amazon. Let's try the NAICS just to see what that looks like. This one is the kind of the government, what the federal government uses, a 5-digit code for industry analysis. So you might have to kind of drill down here, let's say construction. Waiting for this mouse to do something. Okay, and say you want to know about elevator installation in the United States. And it really gives you a report about elevator installation. And what's really great about IBISWorld is it has a lot of visuals, and it gives you things like the supply chain, key economic drivers, major companies involved in an industry, similar industries, industry vocabulary. And then as you go across the page, it gives you kind of snapshots of the industry performance, industry outlook, Is there growth? Is it slowing down? It gives you some statistics here, projected growth into 2023, industry life cycle, the competitive landscape, so who's out there, what kind of competition is going on. It tells you major companies and their market share. Operating conditions if you were going to try and enter this industry, and again, key statistics. Well, sure.
Okay, so they don't have citation information.
No.
No.
But this is a very great resource for business information, and IBIS World has basically tapped a huge panel of industry experts in these particular fields to write this information. So you can print it out, you can do a PDF. Oop, and there, I just did this. I'm still downloading. So let me go back to the main page. All right. Just go home. Okay, so I did an AICS. I can do specialized industry reports. And then kind of, again, goes down into online retail, retail markets, other industries. And then the iExpert summaries. Okay. Now I'll just show what happens if I do a search. Now let me try, I'm just going to try Facebook. That's a company everybody knows. Did I not? Okay. Okay. And it doesn't find Facebook by itself, but it really goes into social networking sites in the US, and they definitely are a key share of the market. And it looks like Facebook and LinkedIn are the two within social networking sites. So when you search, you definitely will have to play with the site a little bit, because sometimes, because it's industry-specific information, sometimes the company name will come up, sometimes it won't. Sometimes the industry name may not be what you think it is. For example, I tried searching by e-recruitment, and that doesn't come up, and I was really looking for online recruiting. So let's see what happens when I do e-recruitment. I'm thinking about things like Career Builder or Indeed.com, and so it didn't come up. But would help if I could spell it. Well, I misspelled it, but I still found it. Then online recruitment sites in the US, that's the overall industry. And as you see, there's LinkedIn, Indeed, Career Builder, and Monster. So with this site, you may have to, if your first term that you think about does not work for you, go ahead and look at the industry reports, look at NAICS, and just kind of play around with different keywords and company names. But these are all very excellent resources for business that I hope will be helpful to you.
All right, so if the students are lost and confused and they don't know how to use a database, are there tutorials available?
Yes, there are. There are tutorials on all of our pages. Okay, so again, on the A to Z list, all of our databases, we've created tutorials for you, and we have video tutorials and we have print handouts, because we know that some people really prefer visual. They would rather watch a video. Other people would rather download a PDF and kind of follow a step-by-step. So we have a variety of different things for you. As you can see, video tutorial, advanced search tutorial. We've got a finding SWOT analyses. So all of our different resources have tutorials attached to them, either from ourselves or from the vendor, to give you some tips about how to use them. Now, of course, you can also consult a librarian, so we're always here and very happy to help you. Because this is an online class, if you're on campus, you could physically come to the library and stop by my desk, because I sit by the front door. But you can also call us on the phone. You can send an email to library@viu.edu. And a service that we do offer, if you want to make a 1-hour appointment, we can certainly do that even remotely over the phone or with screen sharing or both. To help you begin to research a search topic. And you can call at any time, call or email, and I'd be glad to help you. The 1 hour of uninterrupted research time means that you and I just work together on your project and there are no interruptions. So that's an additional service that we offer, if that would be helpful to you.
Okay. So after you're done viewing this, there is a test that we ask everyone to take to see what they've learned. So please either contact your instructor or one of the librarians, and we'll send you the link to take the test.
And our contact information is on the first page of your handout.
Be at the bottom. Yeah, the one on the right.
So as you see here, our contact information is right there on the first page of the library instruction student handout.
Do you wish to say anything? Or?
No, great job, guys. This is
Yes.
really helpful.
All right.
Yes.
Well, thank you everyone for bearing with us through these technological challenges of the wireless mouse. So, we appreciate your courtesy.
Okay.